All right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to another episode of Shit Under My Nails. Of course, it is Sexual Saturday. And today's topic, we are talking about what is it called? Poly.
I'm just gonna say we're talking about poly
We're
relationships.
going to talk about poly relationships. So, so let's just kind of sort of start at the beginning. What is poly? What is it about? I need to know.
Okay, so in layman's terms, it would be a lot of people call it poly, polygamy relationships. And basically, polygamy is like you having more than one spouse. Polygamy will also fall for polygamy would mean a man that has more than one wife, and it could be an unlimited amount. And polyamory would pretty much cover all of that. That would cover a man having multiple wives as well as a woman having multiple husbands.
So it's it's basically the real fucking Disney World for adults.
Pretty much, yes. It's pretty much knowing that you can love multiple people and it not being considered taboo, because we're taught to be in monogamous relationships. We're taught to only have one spouse or one significant other.
I feel like if monogamy, if it happens, cool. If it doesn't, I'm not really. I know that's a situation that's been pushed from society, so I do know that much. I feel like it's only natural for either a woman to have multiple partners or a man to have multiple partners but still have another mate at the same time. I know it sounds extremely crazy, but that's just my personal opinion about it. That diffuses down the jealousy, that brings down the we're in competition because we together.
So yes, and I want to also put out there that polyamory. Let me just read the definition so we can get it together. It is from the Greek word poly, which means many or several, and the Latin amor, which means love. It's the practice of or desire for intimate relationship with more than one partner with the informed consent. Let me say that again. Informed consent of all partners involved. It has been described as consensual, ethical, and responsible, non-monogamy. So I just had to say that again, that it is the consent of all partners, because a lot of time in our Black community, and I can say this because I've asked the question on my page many times, it's usually, yeah, but I don't get along with that woman, or yeah, I know about her, but she don't know about me. Technically, that wouldn't be a poly relationship.
No, not at all.
That's just being, in our terms,
you just the other one,
the side piece.
Yeah,
the other woman,
the other bitch.
When you talk about poly, it's consent between everyone, and like you said, everyone knows about everyone.
That's and
we're all.
I went on to, there's a group on Facebook, and it's a world within a world.
Mm-hmm.
And what I will say is this: when it comes to that world, each and every one has a role, and they know how to stay in their role. Like, you have some people that know, hey, I'm in a relationship with this woman, but this woman has this husband. You know what I'm saying? And then other people that's just like, all right, I know I have a girlfriend, but my girlfriend is not allowed to go date other people. And my husband, he dates plenty of women. Like, it's so many things tied into that.
Exactly. And it's an open door. And I think that's why the biggest thing there says is consent of all partners. Yeah. And what I love about it is that means that you have to have open communication. And when you start talking about poly, it pretty much lets you know that nothing is out the window. And what I love about it is there's somebody for everyone, because I know a girl who lives with her baby father. Mm-hmm. They're not in a relationship. However, they do have sex. And her main boyfriend, which is like that guy, she does not live with him. She only goes visit when it's convenient. And with him, he's not allowed to date other women. And he's completely fine with it. So
I know a couple that's kind of like that. It's a married couple. I'm super duper cool with. From my understanding, how their relationship work is, he said specifically that his wife has boyfriends. Mm-hmm. And when his wife decides that she wants to be with this boyfriend, that's my dude. That's my dog. Don't nobody need to be in my, my business about everything, but just know that this is my homeboy.
So in other words, we're not doing entanglements. We're using open communication.
Right. And when he has his girlfriend, it's the same thing. This my bitch. This my homegirl. You know what I'm saying? Like, It's not a situation where it's just like, okay, this is the other person. Exactly. Or we're in this situationship or this whatever it is. Like, motherfuckers on the outside, they don't know.
Exactly. So for me, I guess I'm going to get into it because a lot of people ask me to do a live on poly relationships. And from my experience, I am nowhere near really experienced. We've dated this, that, and the third. So let me just put that out there. But we've dated. It actually started out where I was allowed to have girlfriends.
Okay.
And I was actually one like, yo, why don't we have a girlfriend? Versus, me getting to have all the fun. Why don't we have a girlfriend?
Okay.
So we actually dated and we courted a girl. And it was really decent. Until I realized that I had some growing and some healing to do. I had to be the bigger person and actually put it out there because once again, this is an open communication.
Right.
It's a consensual thing.
Right.
I had to be the bigger person. You know what? I think I'm kind of jealous. We should probably take this a little bit slow and let's set certain boundaries.
So okay, let's go back. So you and Bay, y'all courted a female. Now, how did you know that? How did you realize? All right, this is the part where I became jealous of this situation.
How did I know? I think because for the most part, I was used to having a girlfriend. So I was used to us going to do things on our own. And then I was used to having a husband. I was used to us going to do things on our own. So it's like I had the one-on-one attention each time. So I think when it was time for that attention to kind of get split, or it was like, oh, excuse me, it's all about me. What the fuck y'all got going on?
Oh, Lord.
However, like I said, that was a problem within me that I had to figure out. And I've gotten to the root of it. And I'm definitely open to it. Because, like I said, I like girls. I like guys. I don't feel like there should be a cap on what I can, what I can't do.
I feel like those are the things that you should do anyway before you get married. You need to figure out what you like, what you don't like.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't have that time. And it's so unfortunate, which is like when you kind of get into marriages and things like that, I tell people all the time that come to me, I'm like, the biggest thing is communication.
Mm-hmm.
Being real with yourself. And then be able to communicate that across the board. Because if not, both of y'all going to be miserable. Because when you really got somebody that's in tune with you, they know something will. And vice versa.
Yeah.
And if they don't, then you should probably back that thing on up a little bit.
Yeah. I've always been like, any situationship that I was in, I've literally sat there and said, communication is the strongest foundation that we can have right now. If you communicate to me and let me know what the fuck is going on or what we're on, then we both can be on the same page. Can't nobody make you look stupid if you don't know.
Exactly.
If you did your research and you know what the fuck going on, you did your research, then cool. It's no reason for you to look like a fool.
Exactly.
But you don't do no research, you ain't got nobody to have your back. I feel like when it comes to a poly relationship or a poly situation, period, it's everybody on the same team.
Exactly.
It's us.
And what you're saying, everybody on the same team, I feel like I need to go in depth and let people know that it is way more than sex.
Oh yeah, that's the first thing motherfuckers think about. It's about sex.
Exactly. Now I'm not saying that it can't be, because once again, like I said, it's open communication. So if that's what you want it to be about, then it can definitely be about all sex. But it's about actually building foundations and actually building these relationships with people, and being like, okay, so this is what we're doing.
Right.
So let's talk about a polygamy relationship for starters. We're gonna talk about a man with multiple wives. All wives should be on the same page.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say that it is a rich man's sport. I can agree to a certain extent, but it does not have to be. If all three of you guys are working together and have common goals and agree that, okay, we all work and we all do A, B, C, and D. So it doesn't have to be a rich man's sport. However, if you people are looking to get into a poly relationship and you want to be the housewife and you want to be A, B, C, and D, then yes, you need to make sure you communicate that across to the man and make sure that man can take care of you the way you want to be taken care of. That does not mean that you're a gold digger. That just means you have different standards and you want different things in life. And trust me, it's somebody out there that's going to be able to deal with that.
Oh, yeah. I definitely believe in that situation. Now, I watched it was an interview that I watched, I want to say a while ago. I think his name is Brother Polite. I want to say that's his name. I didn't really get into him like that until he sat there and broke down logic for me. He was like, as a single parent, you have a total of 24 hours in a day.
Mm-hmm.
Did my research, that's 36,886 seconds in a whole day, right? As a single parent, me, I have to work at a job for at least about 8-9 hours.
Or 12.
Yeah, or 12, depending on the situation. I have to do that. Then I have kids. Then I have to feed them, clothe them, make sure that they're good. I'm gonna take maybe 2-3 hours out of the day just for grooming. I'm finna wash my ass. I'm finna brush my teeth.
Exactly.
Probably an hour for eating. Then at the end of the day, with them last couple of hours of the day, you can decide because you also got to sleep, right?
Exactly.
You sleep what? Minimum 6 hours, maximum 8 hours. So let's just say I took 8 hours. I got a total of maybe 3 or 4 hours left in the day. Now I have to decide whether I'm going to give those couple of hours to my mate or my children. And of course, I'm never going to, unless I'm in a serious committed relationship, my mate wouldn't be that person that get that last little bit of hours. My children would.
Exactly.
So if I had my mate and another person, that gives us all equal round. Everybody get the same attention. The kids get taken care of. There's money flow in the household. There's not just one income. There are 3. And me, I've worked 2 and 3 jobs. So just me by myself, if I was in a situationship or a poly relationship, it would be so much to conquer. I would be able to move the way I need to move because I know my children are at home. They're being taken care of. They're being educated the proper way. And what I will say is in Brother Polite's interview, he was saying how each one of his wives, they all have their own business. So if in case they decide that this is not for them anymore, they can leave with something. They're not just out there just, stagnant. Because on an average, a monogamous relationship, if me and you was together and we broke up, you either finna get kicked out of my house, you ain't got nowhere to stay. What if you driving my little car that's done? No.
And that is why I say it is important, no matter what kind of relationship you get in, to always have that just in case. There is nothing wrong with having mine, him having his, and us having us. There's absolutely nothing wrong whatsoever. Right. Now, how do you feel about polyandry relationships? In other words, that is where a woman has multiple husbands. Could you get jiggy with it, or would that just be more of like a sexual thing?
I don't know. To be honest, I really don't know if I could be the woman that have multiple. Well, we kind of sort of, when you're dating, that's kind of sort of what you're doing in a sense. It's just women don't tell other men about other men. I say just be honest, because what you gonna do? You gonna beat me up? You ain't gonna touch me.
Might catch that case.
Well, let's hope not. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? I just feel like I don't know how I would feel. I don't know. I guess all the men, if all the men were on different levels, like, all right, I got a dude that fix on cars. He's a mechanic. He owns his own mechanic shop. Got another dude. He's corporate. He's business. All right, cool. Got another dude that's the hood nigga, but he's still moving weight. I can deal with that.
You know what's so crazy? When I think about stuff like that, I have a lot of love for you. But I don't know if I can handle that, because I think about the same thing. Like you said, if I got this hood nigga, but then I got this Christian nigga over here that still know that I got another dude, and or this, that, and the third, or I got this corporate guy. For me to be able to switch code, because all 3 of them need something completely different from you. Woman.
Yeah.
Now, in these relationships, let me read it. So, this is a marriage of a woman to 2 or more men at the same time. When the husbands in a polyandrous marriage are brothers, or are said to be brothers, the institution is called fraternal polyandry. So, my thing is, I don't know if I have it in me to be able to give all 3 of these men exactly what they need mentally. Because this nigga that's still in the street could have been got in the shootout last night. But I just came from having the time of my life with my corporate nigga.
Yeah.
Like, we just had the time of our life, and now I'm over here goddamn trying to sew up a bullet wound or some shit like that. Or either I done finished dealing with him, and now I'm coming home to my Christian guy, and I'm like, yes, amen. Like, I don't know if I can switch that off and turn.
Why not?
I don't.
Women, this is what people don't understand about women. Women are the strongest.
And that's the thing, we are, but I don't know if I want to keep being that. I got to be the strongest woman in 3 different forms. I want to be this soft, feminine, and just, I want to be the one with the problems most of the time. Because, you know, as women, we already can be like 3, 4 people in one.
Right.
So, you know, with my husband, I need him to be able to, now with another woman, I can expect that. You know, like, I understand how we are, but like just 3 men. And then, like,
okay, so
now fantasy-wise, I could probably picture that.
Oh yeah.
If, you know, one is
if
like
it's
goddamn
just
Christian Grey.
right, if it's just a sexual thing, then I'm all down for the woman with multiple guys. But I don't think of any poly situation as just sexual, because
But that's why I say you gotta think about it in multiple ways. You can think about it sexually, because you could have all 3 of these guys know that, look,
right,
we just having sex, but all 3 of y'all know about each other. So that's technically a poly relationship, because you have consent from each individual.
Right.
So it can be sexual, but like I said, a lot of times people think about it. A lot of times people think, oh, I'm about to move these bitches in with me, you know, or either I'm about to have multiple bitches and I don't give a fuck what this bitch think. Like, nah, it don't work like that. Same thing with these women. Shit, I got this nigga at home and I got this nigga over here, and they don't know about each other. No, that's that shit that get your ass caught up on First 48.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
fuck that shit.
Yeah. That be.
You see? I ain't trying. I want to live in harmony. I want my chi to be balanced. I want all of us to be in peace, like in whichever situation.
Look, I'm down for whatever makes people happy.
Exactly.
That's just how I feel about the situation.
Oh.
You can do it, and there's a way to do it. You got to communicate. Of course, that creates that strong foundation to lead up to something else.
For you.
But
do you have any tips on communication? Because a lot of people don't understand how to communicate. And I'm going to put my tip out there, which is, damn, I'm put my pen down, which I tell a whole bunch of people. When it comes to communication, a lot of times we can't express ourselves verbally. However, and you know, some people think writing letters is childish, but I think sometimes writing a letter is the best form of communication. Communication does not have to be verbal.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you have, you know, deaf people, they do sign language. Communication is any way of me being able to let you know what I want or need or what it is I'm trying to get you to understand.
Yeah.
So what I usually tell people is write a letter. And you know, that shit go way back to get caught in class. Don't get that letter snatched. And you know, it also sparks different things in people when they get a letter. How often do you really get a letter? Even with people in prison now, like it's like pen pal, like emails and shit.
Yeah.
How often do you get a letter, a handwritten letter on top of that?
Yeah. What I'll say is, when I was younger, my mother, I probably have a collection of maybe like 13 composition books that are filled front and back. My mother used to. She has all of them. I have yet to go through all of them, but it's about maybe 13, close to 20. Because
that's what you should do with them.
Yeah, I know.
Write a book. Get them published as they are.
Yeah.
Don't change nothing in there. Because when I tell you, imagine how many people from that age or younger can relate. Just how it is, grammar errors, everything.
Yeah. It was a whole situation for me. But that's how I didn't know how to really effectively communicate the way that I wanted to.
Verbally.
Right. I could only just write. Because you know the black folks rule. Whatever go on in my house, stay in my house. All right, well, I'm just gonna write it in this journal. And whenever this journal leave this house, that's when your business gonna leave this house. That's how it worked for me. But then as I got older, and I got adopted by my cousin. I was adopted by her, and the way she does nothing but communicate. Well, you go in her house, hi. What?
So wait, she's a verbal.
She's a verbal person.
Okay.
She's not you write it down. She's never been like that. So to go from a household from birth to 13, where I just wrote everything down, to just trying to figure out how to verbally communicate, and I still didn't know how to do it. I would still shit myself in my room. Didn't know how to do it. Now I've gotten to. Yeah, I know, right? And
growth.
Yeah, I'm baby
Growth.
steps. I'm evolving.
But, hey, you gotta recognize when you start to evolve. You gotta celebrate those milestones, baby girl.
So at this point, I feel like effective communication is just me just letting you know how I feel, whether it be. I try to keep it in a calm manner as much as possible.
I promise you, I was just about to say, is it healthy communication? Because there is a difference between healthy and unhealthy communication.
It is. I've been on both ends, being the one yelling and knowing that this person is not listening, or they told me, hey, I'm not gonna hear that because you yelling and I really don't want to hear that. So whatever you're saying, it really don't make no difference. And then I've learned how to just keep a calm manner when I'm sitting up here communicating with you, because I want you to understand what I feel and how I feel. Even if it take me a long time, I might even start off a situation of communication and I might just be like, well, I feel, and I may take a long pause because I want what I feel. I want you to understand it. You know what I'm saying?
So, and I also think it's whoever you are communicating with.
That's true.
I think I have this kind of sort of a very weird way of communicating sometimes, especially if it's something like big I need to get out. Because I'll fuck around and like plan this whole special day and then be like, once we both come and I'm like, so, yeah, the sky falling and I don't like you no more.
Yeah, you go around.
So maybe, that's why I was like, is it healthy? Because like for me, I'm calm and this, that, but how does the other person feel? Because like I done took you to cloud down and bring you back down to reality. Like, so what's up?
Yeah, that's the whole situation.
Are you asking the long ass sex?
But you know what? That also, because I know the last episode we were talking about love languages, right?
Yes, indeed.
So I figured it out. The love language, the test that you had me take.
Mm-hmm.
All right, mine was with acts of service. So with that, me knowing that, I had a couple other people take the test because I communicate with so many different people on a daily. So I want to know, and I'm gonna see if that plays a part. One person, theirs was acts of service, and their second one was just affirmations. Mm-hmm. That was their second one, their second highest one, and I thought it was interesting. And with me knowing for a fact that this is the way that they love, it taught me a little bit on how to communicate with this specific person.
And I was going to bring that up, so I'm so glad that you brought that up, because that is also really amazing. And another thing about that is what we have to be careful with is learning people's love languages and them not knowing ours, because what ends up happening is we begin to stroke. I don't want to say ego, because when you say ego, people think of just men. But women have egos. We can have really big egos too. So, like, when you start stroking these egos and even communicating how these people want to be communicated with, and you're not getting it in return, that can kind of deplete you.
Right. I don't know. I just know for a fact that I'll take a prime example. A friend of mine, his name is Ali, and his was acts of service. And like I said, the second one was words of affirmation. So I sat there and I was just like, oh, good morning, King. I hope that you have a good day. We're going to rule the world. We said some good little affirmations about manifesting money and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. He takes to that compared to how I used to communicate with him. Mm-hmm. The other person, we're going to call him Smash. His was words of affirmation. I didn't effectively do that, but see the fact that I know that
men tend to be words of affirmation.
I know
from what I've done, and when I tell people to say, I say 9 out of 10 men is words of affirmation.
Yeah, and because of that, it's just like, okay, I have to learn, because I learned the way that he likes to be loved. I need to figure out, once we get back on good terms, I have to figure out how to effectively communicate with him, because right now, you know what I'm saying,
that's a two-way street.
Yeah.
That's a two-way street.
Yeah. But I did tell him that I love the act of service that he gave for me for my birthday. I love the roses. I love the fruit. Baby wanted fruit. Baby got fruit. Yeah. I'm just saying. But I'm learning. I know. It's an everyday process. I'm not shutting myself.
The perfect time. definitely an everyday process, but also with those love languages and things, we also have to learn to guard our own feelings and to guard our own safe haven, because we tend to get beat up and we take lots and lots of beatings, and then we'll open those same doors to the same people that did it.
Hallelujah. Say it again.
And when we get the same thing, we be back in the run. But we can't blame nobody but ourselves, because you can't expect people to change. And we also have to understand that sometimes people will change, but it's not for us. It is for the next person, and we have to learn to be okay with that.
I was told, my brother actually told me the other day, he was just like, first of all, he talks to me crazy. He said, stop being a pussy. He was like, you're a fucking building. He said, stop being a pussy. You're a fucking Build-A-Bear for men. And he was like, you're building these niggas together for another bitch, and then you feeling like shit and you start over. And I said, I understand that, but I just feel like I see, you know how you see people's auras, like, okay, I see your auras orange. I see you.
Okay, what do you believe in? Whatever you believe in, do you believe there's a higher being or something higher? Okay. If it ain't sent by that higher being, whatever you believe in, you gotta also know that it ain't your assignment.
I know.
And you gotta know that it's gonna be a man to come in your life, and he gonna be built up just for you, baby. So all the men that you done built up, guess what? You done released them for something way better, something that you couldn't even build that goddamn good yourself.
Yeah, I know. I just be
just for
and
you.
Sometimes it don't even be a situation where I want to be with these men. I just want you to do better, because I see so much potential. And that's what anybody, men or women.
Charity. Remember, we've been talking about this.
Yeah.
Because I honestly used to feel the same way. I used to feel like I used to build these niggas up for the next bitch.
Yeah.
I'm done building these niggas up for anybody else, unless you coming through my charity or my organization.
Yeah.
Then we gonna build and grow together, and there ain't gonna be no kind of sexual soul attachments.
Yeah.
Because guess what? The next, it's gonna be mine. And when it's for you, and that's another thing, as Black women, and yes, I do say as Black women because we're kind of raised this way. You know, let's be realistic. When you get with like white women and stuff like that, they taught out the door. Like, this is what you marrying. This is what you need. This is what you're going to get. And guess what? That's what they're going to get.
Yeah.
For us, when we look at it, we got a lot of single moms in our neighborhood.
Yep.
Or either, moms that just put up with shit that we know damn well they shouldn't have put up with. Just like that saying, oh, relationships don't last like they did back in the day. Yeah, because for we ain't taking the bullshit. We're not sitting at home on our ass. We're not knowing that you out with Becky, Kim, and Lisa.
Yeah.
And it's okay. No, because we know we deserve more and we deserve better.
Yeah.
So coming from where we come from, we taught that, okay, you see a man down and out. Guess what? Your heart goes out to him and you want to build him. We got to know that we can help these people and not be sexually involved.
Oh, yeah.
Or emotionally involved.
Yeah. Again,
but a lot of times
we
get so attached to our projects. But guess what? That project, anytime you do a project, that project got to be turned in.
Yeah.
We don't do projects it got to be turned in and graded. And a lot of times we're not them teachers. Yeah. It's rare that you get a project that you turn in and grade yourself and then be like, okay, let's go. No, we got to stop finding projects.
Yeah.
We got to start finding people that's an equal give and take.
Yeah. Again.
And even in a poly relationship, it got to be equal give and take. Or you got to know your role and you got to play your role to the T and you got to be okay with your role.
Yeah. I actually just found out that I'm the unicorn in the new group.
I told you that them unicorns are lit and they high commodity and baby. You ain't gonna get nothing less than what you deserve, cause baby,
I have gotten so many different messages and people are interested. They just like, they see me. I see you. You know what I'm saying?
Take that ego stroker because you deserve it. And guess what? Don't you settle into nothing no time soon. This is the Builder Dirty Joe beer shop. So guess what? You take. That's what I'm saying. So guess what? This is just you picking up the pieces and building with all these words of affirmations that you're gonna receive.
Right.
All this affection, this, that, and the third. But guess what? You don't get to attach to none of them because you're building you. And that's the thing about dating. What we don't realize is when you date, you're going to the highest builder. A lot of people don't want to believe, but like, because you don't want to go to the one that was down here and you didn't really enjoy it, but he needs to be fixed. Yeah. So I'm going to leave this up here and I'm going to go back down here. Yeah. No, when you date, and that's literally what it is. Like, it's the process of elimination. Yeah, I like you, but I feel better when I'm with so-and-so. I feel better with you versus than with A, but C really put me on cloud 9 and we really connect here, there, and there. Yeah. So that's the process of elimination. And so, like, let's be real, like, to the highest bidder. But in the meantime, open communication. Yeah. Everybody knows that you're dating. You're not exclusively dating. So guess what? You go to the highest builder, and in between time, you start building you like you built all those other projects. You are now your own project. You know where I've been. So like we here. Right. And that's why I say if we can get together, the king usually ain't got no issues. Shit, if everything being taken care of at home, she doing whatever it was agreed upon on there, it's like I said, it's usually easier for a man to get along with a woman instead of you trying to get two women to get along.
I just needed to be, that's my whole big thing. I just want effective fucking communication. That hit every situation I realized, and I've taken accountability for my part, because I don't never sit here and be like, they did. Because guess what? If I keep talking about them, what did I do? Exactly. So I'm taking accountability for each and every situation that I've been in. And I do know, along with me taking accountability, there's also communication issues. Nobody knows how to communicate.
All these beginning people that's in poly relationships, this is one thing, and I did really good at communicating this. Because like I say, my first time we dated, I've always had like little girlfriends here and there. Whatever the case might be, cool. But like when I got into the poly, I was real. Like I'm like, look, I don't really know how this gonna work out. Yeah, I like you, but I ain't never just shared my man or this, that. So I don't know how it's gonna go. So I want you to kind of come into this with an open mind.
Right.
If we become sexual, I would like for you to only be sexual with us because we only sexual with each other. Right. But until then, you know, it's like, it's cool. I don't care if you're talking to other people because I don't want to have you locked down and I just be like, yeah, this shit ain't gonna work. You get what I'm saying? But and that's part of communication for me. Because I don't want to string you along and I done told you not to date nobody, not to talk to nobody. And then I had a jealous spell like I did. And I'm like, yeah, bitch, I don't know what you gonna do. You done left Tom and Bob back there in the bag. And that's why communication, consent between everybody. Like, let's just say if I'm bringing you, look, I don't know how this really gonna work out. My last relationship, I got kind of jealous. I wanted my cake and my ice cream, but I like them separately. But I'm willing to try this again until further notice.
Yeah.
You are a free agent and we are dating. I do like to have people that are available to me. So if I call you, you out with Bob and you can't leave Bob to come be with me. That may be a problem.
No, this is how it works.
But see, that's you what I'm saying. See?
I got to go. I gotta go.
So guess what? You done already went up a notch on my list because I called. She was with Bob, dick touching that thing and hanging in the back of her throat, and she still came.
Bob, see? I got to go.
But see, that's effective communication. Yeah, because you could tell that to somebody like, what the fuck? But you ain't the one for me.
But that's why I can honestly say I do like the poly world better than the average regular world.
Yes,
it's like
because it's like you said, nothing is impossible in this world.
I'm talking about these folks. They support each other.
Yes.
I ain't never. They put
them and swingers.
Yeah,
I fucking love swingers.
Yeah,
I know because I host swinger. Y'all know I sell sex toys and stuff. So I host swinger parties, poly parties. Like I host a lot of shit. So like for me, it's just definitely like
they put a post up and it was just like, name your business, what you got going on. When I tell you, these are not regular fucking people. These are not motherfuckers that you see off the street. These are doctors, lawyers. I'm sitting here. I was surprised.
The swinger party that I host, girl, we had plastic surgeons in the building. We had attorneys, bitch. We had Billy Bob Jean them coming from Alabama to Georgia for this party. Like we had Nicki Minaj in the motherfucking building. We had Cat Stacks in the corner. Like when I say it was a variety of so many people. And guess what? In that world, guess what? Shit, you know, I just got jammed up. You know, the attorney that came to the swinger. Get what? Like them ties go. It's like a secret society, a secret goddamn fraternity.
Yeah. Yes.
Hit pause 1 second for me, darling.
So I'm gonna play a small snippet of the famous Brother Polight from New York City and his small interview with DJ Vlad and his concept of thinking. And again, this is not just to pressure anyone else on the polygamy lifestyle or just that lifestyle in general, but it just, for me, it makes sense as a single parent. Here we go.
No, there's normally some reason in particular why we would need to get this done. People have to keep in mind, for instance, for individual people, right? We say, hey, how much hours out the day people have to go to work? They normally work 9 to 5 or something like that, right? So they normally got 8-hour days or something to that effect. And probably to travel to work sometimes takes about an hour, and to come back an hour. So 10 hours is gone out of 24, right? So that's 10 out of 24 hours. Then let's presume this woman actually cooks. In my world, the women cook, right? So let's say it only takes an hour for cooking. That's 11 hours. Let's say it only takes an hour for cleaning. Should take place every day. This is under normal circumstances. People don't live under normal circumstances because the day doesn't accommodate for it, which is why we issue polygyny. So cooking and cleaning, 2 hours, 1 hour, 1 hour, 12 hours. That's half the day. I imagine we will want some sleep. They say we should sleep 8 hours out the day, 1/3 of our life. Totally disagree. Let's just bring it down to 6 hours. So now we at 18 hours. Okay?
So you got 6 hours left.
6 hours left, 3/4 of the day now. Okay? 6, 12, 18, 24. We at 18 hours now. All we've managed to do was cook, clean, sleep, go to work, come back from work, and work itself. 18 out of 24 hours.
Right.
It's getting tricky now. Okay? It's getting tricky. We didn't factor in, hey, how about grooming yourself and washing up? Right? That has to count for something. It's not fair. I mean, now some of us, half hour or whatever, but that's not fair to us under normal circumstances. But let's give ourselves an hour, especially women particularly. They don't need that hour. So we had 19 hours. Now we're down to just 5 hours left.
Right.
Okay?
You have to eat.
There we go. You got to eat.
That takes a couple hours.
Let's say 1 hour for eating. So now we had 20 hours.
Right.
We have 4 hours left. With those 4 hours that's left, hopefully your child's schedule doesn't contradict your work schedule where you can spend some time with your child. That's presuming you have a child. You also have a man. You need some time with your man. You also have friends you got to socialize with. Now, the list, them 4 hours, everyone's not going to eat during those 4 hours.
I guess this is why the weekends are so important.
And then you overcompensate on the weekends through getting drunk or having too much sex, or maybe you're just sleeping because you're tired. But the reality is, when you have this polygynous setting, I'm selling you on this, don't let your wife see this part. You know what I'm saying? So after a while, you realize you don't even have enough time for reading, studying, vacation, socializing with friends, family, your children, or your significant other. All of that is in 4 hours. Everything I just said, we went past this hand for 4 hours. Someone's not going to get the attention they need. And the first person we need to make sure gets the attention that they need is you, is the woman, is that man. Everyone's entitled to give themselves the right amount of attention. But the schedule that most of us live under wouldn't properly accommodate for healthy living as far as giving back to ourselves. So number one, the reason why polygyny is so important is because it frees up the time of the individuals. And that's under the presumption people value their time more than most things. Everybody doesn't value their time more than most things. And that's understandable. This is not for everybody. I'm not trying to sell it to people. But for those people who value their time, who want to read, study, meditate, pray, travel, eat slower, cook slower, I like home-cooked food, clean house, spend time with their children and not have to be divided. Do I give my child the time? Do I give my mate the time? Do I give my friends the time? Because people start battling for time. Your children start growing. You don't even realize they're growing up. You don't even realize the type of friends they had because you're too busy or you're too tired or you're catching up when you get free time. Or look, I need to socialize. I need some time for me. That's not fair. You brought these children into the world. So we take all of that into consideration and now we realize also, what if I want to homeschool? This works better for us because each parent takes on a curriculum. Okay, I take math and history. One of my wives takes science and social studies, right? And the other wife takes gym and art. So we divide the time so that way I can do what I have to do day to day for my child without being overly consumed by the work ethic that entails homeschooling. I could say, I could put my hour in and get out of there. And my other wife would come in and she could put her hour and a half in, get out of there. And the other wife would come and put her hour and a half in. And you see, this thing works out. So the children are being taught, they're being fed properly, and people have their peace of mind to read and study.
You have 4 existing wives and 2 wives here.
Now, for you guys who thought that it was crazy or that it couldn't work on a day-to-day basis, it's extremely hard. But with the lifestyle of polygamy or polygamy, it's fairly easier for the everyday lifestyle to become a reality. And again, he's not trying to sell it to you. I'm not trying to sell it to you or force it upon you. But just sit back and think about it. As always, it's always going to be a beautiful day on the south side of GA.